Hello, and welcome to Legend of the Driftwood Crown, this time with Manx, being played by Ben. Ben, why don't you give us 30 seconds about your character?
Hey, my name is Manx, and I have always just kind of gotten along with everybody. Grew up in a small town near the coast, and just kind of got along. Never really applied for a trade, but when I kind of came of age and couldn't stay at home anymore, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I kind of fell in with the guy that did the funeral rites in our little town. He was cool enough, and I thought it was really cool to be able to help bodies onto the afterlife and kind of be personable with them in death too. And one time I was working late and I decided to just stay in the office, and when I fell asleep and I had these haunting, chilling kind of nightmares, it kind of shook me to my core. I've never experienced anything like that in that capacity since, but now I get nightmares, and the gods are kind of speaking through me now, and they kind of give my words a little bit more power. So I try to dedicate myself to, the right gods, help the people around me, and more or less a traveling priest these days. Still have pretty bad nightmares. My goal is to kind of get to the bottom of that.
So Manx finds himself wandering down a nice sunny road on the way to the nearby town of Seafall. As he exits the forest surrounding the town, he can smell the fresh ocean spray as it drifts over the town and out into the forest. The sun is shining, the road is, although busy, it's clear, there's no danger, and life is good for Manx. As he walks, singing and humming away, or catches up with a donkey cart that is piled high with vegetables. Tomatoes, carrots, celery, lettuce. You're walking a little bit faster than this old donkey can go. You'll see a good-sized stocky dwarf and an elf in a wide brim hat on a cart with bees swarming the cart. You can see there's honey all in the back. Looks a little bit intimidating with all the bees swarming around. You'll notice there's a cart right behind you now piled with vegetables. So the tomatoes and lettuce and celery. The human who's driving that cart waves to you.
Ahoy there, traveler. What brings you down to Seafall today?
Well, I'm traveling priest of sorts, but, I'm just traveling into town. I'd love to see the city, see the wares, and help those in need.
Oh, there's a lot of people in need in these towns. Are you planning to do any preaching, or are you going right to the church?
Where's the best place to go?
Well, if you're looking for the best place to preach to as many, I'd recommend the market. It's where all the people are going to be today. Market days are good days for those. You can preach, you can busk. Actually, I think the preaching's free these days. Ha! Where's my manners? Elias Greenfield's the name. Vegetable farmer is the game. Well, actually, that's not true. I don't do much farming anymore with these old legs. I got 4 sons and a daughter over on me vegetable farm, though. They do most of the growing, and I take this old donkey in and sell it for as much coin as I can get. We've done pretty well so far this year, hoping to get a new plow for our oxen to open up even more fields. We'll be riding high on the hog this summer.
I've always said there's a lot of money in vegetables if you know where to look.
Ha! If you know where to look, there is.
Can you do a diplomacy check for us, Ben?
Ooh, that's a 9. It's not so hot, but I'm good at diplomacy.
When we get to town, you should seek out a man named Ulrich Stormrider. He's the master of coin and also the Tamir of Seafall's brother. You have to register with him to preach or to busk in the market square. Better not risk punishment if you don't let him know you're going to be there. You risk spending the evening in the stockades. If you want to come and talk to me after the market, though, I'll be staying down at the Silver Stag near the docks. It's where all the fancy people are going to be. Come find me when the day is done. We can talk more. I always like hearing stories of those who wander the country. Here, try one of these for your troubles.
And he hands you a carrot.
I will absolutely come and see you at the Silver Stag this evening, and I take a huge bite of the carrot. Is it a good carrot?
It's very crunchy.
Ooh, so good. There's something good about an extra crunchy carrot. This is the finest carrot I've ever eaten, and I'm not exaggerating. The This is wonderful.
Do you want to climb on board the vegetable cart? No sense walking if we can make this here mule do all the work.
I couldn't agree more, sir. And, I would very much appreciate a lift into town. And for your trouble, I could regale you with a poem that I have written.
Huh, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was wondering if you'd write either songs or poems or something. I actually might have some material that you might be interested in turning into a poem.
When the muses come singing, no topic is out of bounds.
I heard the other day there's a local hunter who's said to have found the ancient forest of Verdant Hollow. Nobody around these parts has been able to find it for more than 150 years, but apparently a local hunter just stumbled upon it. I don't know if it's true, but I bet that hunter's gonna be in the market somewhere there today. He comes into town time to time. He's a exotic animal trapper, hunter, real shifty character, but at the end of the day, he'd be the one to ask. Just local rumors, of course, but fingers crossed that'd make a heck of a tale.
That does sound intriguing. I am into ancient lore. Any word on this hunter's name by chance?
Oh, I've never actually met him. He's got a real slimy name. Grimehook, that's what it is. Something Grimehook. He's a elf-looking creature. He lives out yonder, but just really a loner in the forest. That's all I know.
That's rather grotesque for an elven name as I stroke my pointy ears, but, I've heard more grotesque. I'd be interested to meet this gentleman. Let's hop on this cart, fine sir, and I would like to regale him with my poem, and as I do, I want to give him inspiration.
I accept both of those options. So he offers you a hand down, he plops you up into the seat next to him, and you trundle along. As you regale him with a poem, he grins from ear to ear. You are now, maybe a few hundred yards from the city gate. It's no more than maybe half a kilometer from the edge of the forest all the way to the gates of Seafall that you can see. And he's grinning from ear to ear. Can you make a diplomacy check?
Ayo, 21. Oh, and I have advantage. That's even better. The persuasion, I roll it twice. Oh, my other one was a 7. So we're going to go with 21.
Now, I know market day is closing in upon us, but I've heard that there's another ship coming into port today. If you get a chance, you should talk to the captain. Captain Magnus is his name. He's a spice trader down from the princely realms down south. But from what I hear, he's bringing not only spices this trip. We heard a rumor from his first mate last time she was here that he's carrying a demon with him. Just casual demon on the ship, carrying him around. Apparently he's got good coin to pay for the trips, and he just stops off. He's traveling horns and all.
This perturbs me a little bit.
These are strange times.
They are very strange times.
I can't imagine somebody as fine as Captain Magnus spending time with a demon, but who am I to judge? I'm just a vegetable farmer.
You're just almost at the gates here. You can see the guards check people in.
You're a very well-connected vegetable farmer, I must say. Yeah, thank you for all your information. You say you'll be at the Silver Stag tonight.
Silver Stag indeed.
The queue has moved forward and you guys are up to the city gates.
Daichi Cinco, traveler. You've got the looks of a minstrel.
That's very, very flattering of you. But, truly I'm just here to spread the word, help those in need, spread a word of cheer to the masses that might need any spiritual assistance.
Well, we're always looking for positive preachers here. If you get a chance, I'd recommend stopping by the Church of Mara. The local priest here is always looking to make those of fellow faith and have a few encouraging words to the masses. Mara be praised.
Mara be praised.
Are you looking to do some preaching in the market today?
I would like to do some preaching in the market today. I hadn't thought about it that much, but everybody here seems so happy to welcome me. How can I say no? This is the work of Mara.
In that case, go down and see a man named Ulrich, Master of Corn. You'll find him over a little wooden booth there with all the coins around him and his servants. That's going to be Master of Coin. Elias here is the Master of Coin. Eh? Elias?
Master of Corn, I heard you say. Oh, yes.
Well, I'll be. Look at you making fun of the old vegetable farmer.
I give him a big pat on the back, and I'm like, yes, he is.
The guard waves you through.
Go on, Elias. I know you're from around these parts. This preacher seems like he's an all right sort, but I'm keeping an eye on him. You make sure you keep an eye on him too, Elias. I'll string you up by your carrots if you don't.
And in you roll. From this point, the town is not particularly large. The Seafall has maybe 2,000 people to it. On your left-hand side, you can see kind of a, not exactly run down, but less than stellar tavern. There's people coming in and out. You can hear some commotion from coming inside. To your right, you're actually going to see the large Church of Mara. It's really one of the only large buildings. You can see the keep of Seafall in the distance. Most of the homes are relatively run down, but they're all made of wood, and the smell of salt water fills your nose. You get to the corner of the market square, which would be about the size of maybe 1.5 football fields, like a football field long and then 1.5 football fields wide. And this is really the only cobblestone that you actually see. Everything else is all dirt road. You can see market vendors with all different sorts setting up. Most of them are just nothing more than carts or maybe a few tables to put vegetables or spices on. Elias turns to you.
Well met, Manx. But this is unfortunately where we must part. I've got a whole permanent space here, as I'm here every week, so I don't need to talk to Ulrich, but he's just over there.
Points to a small, wooden shelter in one of the corners of the market.
Come and find me if you've got time in the market, or again, find me at the Silver Stag.
And he offers you a hand to get down from the cart.
I take his hand and am just so grateful. Elias, you've been more than a friend, and I flip him a silver coin and say, I'll have another, handful of carrots for the road, please, sir.
Oh, it's gonna be a good day. You're too generous, Manx.
And he hands you what looks like a 2-pound bag of carrots. Definitely more carrots than you could probably eat in a day.
That's fine. With carrots like this, who can have any troubles at all? I'm happy with it.
And he turns Bessie, his mule, up into the market. Ahead of you, you can see market vendors. To your left-hand side, you can see Ulrich, the master of coin. And then behind you, you can see the tavern and the church. The floor is yours. Manx, where do you want to go?
I'm just going to kind of peruse my way up. I want to go introduce myself to Ulrich, but I'll take my time and wander through the market. Yeah, but that's it. I'll go introduce myself to Ulrich.
You walk over to Ulrich. He is a distinguished older gentleman, clad in what seems like actual armor, but it is kind of on the ornate side, really. He's certainly getting a little bit older. As you approach, there's a number of pages, kids that are 7, 8, 9, that are holding coins and got little ledgers there to mark everything down for everybody. There's a small queue, so there's, maybe 2, 3 people in front of you. They quickly pay their little due and then move on after that point.
Daichi Cinco, traveler.
He holds up 3 fingers to his mouth as a sign of respect.
Welcome to Seafall. I haven't seen you around here before.
Do I know what Daichi Cinco means?
It's just like greeting of respect.
Daichi Cinco him back. I hear that you're the man to talk to if I want to preach to the masses.
Well, we only allow positive preachers. No doom and gloom here in Seafall. There's enough of that in a daily life.
I say, why spread the rumor that it's going to be more doom and gloom? That is not my way, sir.
In that case, you're as welcome in Seafall as any man. We've got one more spot. Unfortunately, it's not our busiest place, but there's going to be a fair few travelers. It's down by the docks. We've got a statue of Mora down there. You've got a space right in front of our goddess. Can't miss it. One of the largest things here in town.
Amazing. I think I will find that just to my liking, and I pat the little amulet of Mara that I keep around my neck.
I didn't catch your name. Are you going to be in the parts long?
I haven't decided. I'm a wanderer by trade, but I'll spend probably at least a few nights here.
I wish you good luck.
And with that, he'll wave you away as there's more vendors queuing behind you for the market. Do you want to explore the market? Do you want to go directly down to the dockyards? There may be 100 feet in opposite directions. Yeah, right behind you is what looks like a blacksmith shop, and then you're welcome to wander the market. People will call out left, right, and center for spices and vegetables, and you even pass the previous woman that you saw with the honeybees on the road. She's got her cart set up with a wide-brimmed hat.
Really quickly, do I see any vendors around that would have either furs or like meat, like game animals?
One human vendor who's got rabbits, some small game.
I'll go up to him. Rabbits is fine. And I just ask, "Good afternoon, sir. I don't mean to pry, but I was hoping that you could point me in a direction. I've heard there's a trapper in the area. His name was, I can't remember.
Grimehook. You're looking for Grimehook.
Grimehook. I was...
Yes, old sly Grimehook. Yes, indeed. Tyrion Fairwind's my name. Sly might be in town today. I don't rightly know. He comes and goes. He really only concerns himself with either the largest game or if somebody's got a bounty for a feast for a hog or a boar or deer or something. He brought in an albino deer just 2 weeks ago, so I don't know if he'll be in today.
I was hoping that he could help me procure some furs for a project that I have going on.
Oh, there's no better tracker in these parts than old Grimehook. He's a pretty prickly character, to be true, but he's good at what he does. Can I interest you in a quail, or a pheasant, or a squirrel by any chance?
Good sir, you've helped me, and unfortunately, I'm not in the market for any game, but I'll tell you what, and I hand him a couple of carrots. He's like, and I say, "These are the best carrots that I've ever eaten, and I think you should have a couple."
Oh, why, thank you. What was your name again?
My name is Manx, sir.
Thank you, Manx. I hope we run into each other again. These look like fine carrots. It makes my morning a heck of a lot better with something to munch on.
Be well, sir, and I will see you soon.
Mara be praised.
Mara be praised.
You walk away from the game maker's stall, and the floor is yours.
I am going to head down to the docks. I don't remember the name of the ship's captain.
Magnus.
I knew it was something big and cool.
So as you wander your way through the streets down to the docks, the statue of Mara is really the most dominant thing on the landscape. Towering over all of the homes in the area, clearly dominant to the docks. You'll notice the statue carved out of a blue marble matching the water. There's space marked out, almost a little like chalk outline for where a busker or minstrel would sit down below to actually preach in front of the docks, but from that vantage point, you can actually see all of the ships throughout the docks. One is significantly larger than the others, called the Sea Serpent, in red letters painted right on the side, relatively crudely, and you can see the crew unloading spices in large baskets and bins and bowls. The two other ships are significantly smaller, and they're unloading seafood, so lobsters, fish, you name it, squid, stuff like that, into buckets ready to be trundled up to the market. One thing as you get close to the statue that you immediately notice is the crown on the statue's head. Crafted from a weathered driftwood found along the shores, it's a testament to the power of nature's elements. The crown's intricate design intertwines branched and gnarled roots, forming a regal headdress that sits atop the statue of Mara. Emblazoned within the driftwood are precious gems of various colors, radiating and mesmerizing you by their brilliance. The jewels itself represent Seafall's wealth and beauty, catching the light and casting a mesmerizing spectacle not only through town but far out to the ocean.
Beautiful. So I will have heard of this. I'm gonna make this my purpose for kind of being here. Is I've had kind of crazy shit happen in my recent past. So I'm sitting here in front of the statue, and I'm kind of moved to tears because I have spent all this time. I've had some crazy, almost like a nightmare past, but it's not a past. It's just crazy ass haunting nightmares that are kind of driving me down the road to this point. And so I'm just gonna quietly shed a little tear. I'll have a little basket that I keep, small, very shabby looking one, that I'll sit down and I'll sit next to the statue and just think has brought me to this point. And I would like to say hello to the passersby, give some, Mara be with you, Mara be with you. I'm not going to launch into a sermon. That's not really my style. But people come by, I'll sea-star them. That seems more in line with things. Mara be with you, good sir.
As you're sitting blessing those who travel, you notice that the guard that you spoke with at the gates wanders past.
You found your way, preacher. Good to see you again.
And I I have to say, I was moved to tears when I saw this statue. You have a wonderful town here, and I'm so happy that I can be here today spreading the word of Mara.
Well, thank you for your blessing. We're very proud of our statue of Mara. The driftwood crown serves as a lighthouse for us, guiding all who would come to our shores.
I'm hoping that with some of my help, it'll shine extra bright tonight. I've heard whisperings of this, and I've really been wanting to see it for a long time now. Tell me again how this crown came to be sat upon Mara's head. I'm unfamiliar exactly with the specific local legends that brought this here.
Nobody knows. As long as we can remember, it sat there. Nobody knows where it came from, at least nobody living. It's been here since my grandfather had spoken of it, and I suspect it'll be here when I have grandchildren who are fully grown. I'm Saeed, by the way, Saeed the Strong. I'm captain of the City Watch here, though truthfully our City Watch is only about 15 strong, so not really much of a captain anyway.
You know, I heard that it was actually Mara herself who carved this when she emerged from the sea so that she could stay out of the ocean and keep an eye on all those within and all those without.
Saeed shrugs.
I believe you, minstrel. Mara's never been particularly favorable of me, but she's never been cruel either. Mostly, I just make sure nobody is pickpocketing here in the market. Well, I've got to go make sure the sea captain of the Sea Serpent is making sure he's paying his dues. Anything else you need?
I'll give you a blessing that Mara may favor you a little bit more kindly than she has in the past. I go to shake his hand. I use the eloquence of that to pass bardic inspiration onto him so that the next time he makes any kind of skill check, he gets that extra D6 added to it. I just think it's fun to next time you do something, you're gonna fucking nail it, and it's because of me.
He can feel it, and his eyes narrow at you suspiciously because he can feel that something weird occurred, but he's not going to bring it up.
I appreciate the personal approach that you've taken in the security of the town and welcoming me in. Blessings be with you.
Just kind of nods and turns his back and walks over towards the large ship. You can see him discussing with what looks like a hobgoblin character. He's got greenish skin. They seem to not be shouting, but they're having some serious words back and forth. And then you see some coins change hands. Saeed turns around, walks past, gives you a nod, and walks back up towards Alaric.
Can I do, without interacting with anyone, can I just watch this and do an investigation check from afar to see if this is indeed Magnus?
Yeah.
Oh, nat 1. That's a total of 4.
So you have no idea. He has no idea if this is Magnus, but he would appear to be the only wealthier individual on the docks. Make a perception check.
Oh my god. Well, we're gonna get this out of the way in session 1. That's a nat 1, sir.
You're just watching people pass you by.
I just got some dust in both my eyes. I'm not crying at the Mara statue, you are.
There are just little hand carts that are carrying spices up towards the market. All of a sudden, you feel a hard smack right between your shoulder blades, pitching you forward onto the cobblestones. Take 5 damage.
I hit the cobblestones and go, oh, cock and balls. I look wounded.
You know what? Make your fortitude save to see if you miss your turn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. No, it's a good thing I buffed my constitution. Con save. 10 plus the 2.
That'll work. You just have to get over 5. So you haven't lost your turn. You're able to basically flip over, and you see a goblin standing on the lower section of the statue of Mora, and a second one who's just swung a club into your back. Make a perception check.
Oh my god, total of 7.
So you can basically see 2 goblins in front of you. One of them is actually paying attention to you. The other one is not really paying attention to you.
Do these guys look actively hostile right now?
Yes.
Well, fuck those guys. And they knocked me to the ground?
One of them knocked you to the ground. The other one is standing on the lower plinth for the statue of Mora near her feet.
I say, dare attack me, I'll give you something to laugh at, and I cast Hideous Laughter. That goblin has to give me a wisdom saving throw.
11. So he falls to the ground. Make another perception check.
So gladly. Oh, we're getting slightly better. 8.
So you can hear now commotion coming from the market. As the goblin falls, you look to your right, and you can see 2 goblins have sprung onto Saeed, who you were just talking to with his coins. One of them is got a knife, trying to stab him in the leg, and he's holding the other one, which is also trying to bite him. You look to your left, and you see that there was 2 wicker baskets, and goblins have popped out of theirs and grabbed Captain Magnus in his hat and pushed the carts of spices and his dock workers into the river. So Captain Magnus has a club that he's waving to hold them off on the pier, and Saeed is struggling with one goblin on his back, stabbing him, and the other goblin trying to bite his hands as he holds them away from his body.
I am going to cast Vicious Mockery. Is Saeed within 60 feet of me?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, the guy trying to stab his leg to give me a wisdom saving throw.
9.
He is going to take 4 points of damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. Hell yeah, bard stuff.
You can see the goblin on his back recoil and drop off of him, and then turn and try and stab him in the calf. Saeed swings around, draws his longsword, and begins to fend them off.
How many are surrounding him? Like 2 or 4?
2.
2. Hot damn. And I have 2 next to me, but one's not paying attention to me?
The one that it was nearby you that was not paying attention has disappeared. You don't know where he went. And there's another one that's hideous laughter.
Oh shit. I cast Vicious Mockery on the guy that I already hit with Vicious Mockery. So he's got to give me another wisdom save.
This one's an 8.
He takes 4 points of damage.
4 more. The goblin looks like he's racked in pain, moving very slowly, and doesn't basically see Saeed's sword because he's been racked by pain. Saeed's sword cuts him clean in half, being not only distracted but damaged by your spell from a distance. Saeed moves too slowly in turn for the second goblin to land a devastating stab right through his calf, and he'll turn, pulling away the goblin's knife, and the goblin, he pulls it back out of his calf. So now Saeed has the goblin's knife and a sword itself. Your move, Ben.
I cast Vicious Mockery on the goblin he's fighting. Give me a wisdom save. Get used to this, by the way.
6, so he's going to take more damage.
I roll 2. He takes 2 damage.
Racked with pain, he doubles over, ironically dodging a blow from Saeed's sword, which was threatening to cut him. So he just doubles over in the pain. Saeed misses. Make a perception check.
Unnatural 21.
So you hear a faint horn. The goblin there looks up and then runs away from Saeed, who is too hurt to try and pursue. You see the goblins down next to Captain Magnus have also disappeared, although Magnus isn't in your view anymore either. Also, as you turn back, you realize the goblin that you cast Hideous Laughter on has entirely disappeared.
I was really angry about that. I was like, we're gonna interrogate this motherfucker. Son of a gun.
Make another perception check.
16 total.
You can see now the captain, Magnus's body. He has been killed by the 2 goblins, lying face down on the dock. As you turn, everything in the world seems a little bit darker, and you realize that the crown sitting upon the statue of Mara's head is gone.
Oh my god.
Before you even have time to register how significant that might be, Ulrich, the Master of Coin, rushes down to see you.
Preacher, are you hurt?
Only a little bit between my shoulder blades. We managed to help Saeed. Saeed, are you okay?
Thank you, Preacher. Your blessing came in handy. I was done for by those goblins if I hadn't have reacted just as the first one jumped on me with a knife. I guess Mara's blessing favors me again.
We managed to keep the goblins from killing him, but I think they killed somebody else of importance down by the dock.
The whole market's been hit.
There must have been a dozen of them sneaking around here.
Probably more than 100 goblins got in. I don't know where they came from. We haven't had anything like this happen in years. We haven't even had a goblin sighting in more than 5 years.
This doesn't bode well for us, my friend.
No, indeed. But markets can be rebuilt, and we'll have more travelers. Our reputation will take a hit, but at least nothing of irreparable value has been stolen.
What about the crown?
What do you mean? What about the... Good Lord! It's gone! How? I don't even know how they managed to accomplish something like this. I must go find Cedric. Goblins couldn't be responsible for this.
There's more than goblin mongering afoot here.
Preacher, you've been very valuable, but I have one favor to ask. A hunter came into town a little later.
Grime Hook.
That's the one. Find him. He said he'd found the fortress and that he saw some goblins sneaking into town ahead of him. He's tracked them to their camp. I'm sure Cedric will want to lead a counterattack, but if we don't know what we're walking into, it'll be the end of Seafall.
This has been a very formative experience for Manx. So he gets down on one knee. In Mara's sight, you have my oath of allegiance until this has been fixed. Tell me how I can serve.
Thank you, Traveler. I believe that the hunter was seen last at the gates, maybe by the rusty tankard inn. I'm not sure. Check there first. Good luck.
Mara be praised.
Mara be praised.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Legend of the Driftwood Crown. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a review or tell a friend about this podcast. Feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, and we will see you in the next episode.